Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is the first time that you are joining me. As you can see from the title of this video, today I am doing another VR, and this is in response to Livy from Crescent Dreams Tarot. It's the Tarot Community Build tag, which I actually first saw on Laura at Aquamarine 18's channel, and I will link both of their videos in the description box below, along with the hashtag, which if you click on it will take you to all the other videos that you can watch as well. And the questions will also be in the description box below, so if you haven't done this tag and you would like to, you can also jump on and do this however you want to do that. So I'm going to jump right in with the questions. And the first question is, what is your name, your preferred pronouns, and your channel name if you have one? So my name, no big shock here, is Heather, which is also currently the name of my channel. Although I say currently because I am umming and ahhing quite a bit lately about changing it, and because I think when you use your own name, it kind of has the feel of like a lifestyle or a vlog channel, or you know, like I'm a brand or something, which feels a little strange when mainly what I talk about is tarot and witchcraft and books. I don't really talk about just myself and my life. So I am very tempted to change my channel name, but I have no idea what to, and I'm very much open to suggestions if you would like to leave me some in the comments. And my preferred pronouns are she, her. Question number 2, what first got you into tarot? And if you have a tarot channel, which I obviously do, why did you create it? I have been into tarot for a very long time, but only really started to take it really seriously since like 2016. But I've got my first tarot deck as a teenager, and I have a book, the first ever tarot book that I used, I've had for like over 20 years. And I got into tarot in the main because I had discovered paganism and Wicca and witchcraft, and I was reading a lot of books and 90s books. You're talking about Scott Cunningham, you're talking about Silver Ravenwolf, you're talking about that kind of stuff. And there was this very much underlying theme that witches and pagans practiced some form of divination, and I wanted to do that. I wanted to be the witch in the correct way and all of that malarkey, and I liked the idea of divination, and I tried some different things. I tried runes. I still to this day do not understand them. You know, I've done a bit of pendulum dowsing and things, but I was very much just drawn to tarot and the imagery, and yeah, kind of got my first deck, played about with it, got a book, tried to learn, didn't really take it seriously, although I used it on and off a lot. And then in 2016 I got really serious about it. Ended up with some friends who were also very into tarot. Went to a couple of tarots and teas where we practiced intuitively reading for each other and stuff, and my love for it just grew. And the more I learned and the more ideas I was having and the more thoughts I was having, the more I wanted to share that with people, and I wanted to expand my like boundaries, if you like, but social boundaries. So I didn't just want to be talking to people who'd grown up and were seeing tarot through the same lens as I was, because they'd grown up in the UK in very similar neighborhoods to me. They had very similar friends, very similar schooling experiences. The cultural and societal stuff that lens that they were looking through was very similar, because we were all very similar ages. And I wanted to expand those horizons and talk to people about tarot and their experience with tarot and how they viewed it and and the lens that they were coming through, who had very different backgrounds to mine. And I just wanted to find a community and make some new friends and just have a place to chat shit where nobody could make me stop, because there's no one here to stop me while I'm recording. So yeah, so here I am. Question number 3, what is your tarot aesthetic? Basically, what kind of decks are you attracted to? So I had a look through my decks and they're all over the shop. Surprisingly, there is a lot of kind of all over the shopness. And one thing that I am definitely not interested in, so I guess isn't really the question, but kind of helps answer the question, is I don't really like the minimalist style of tarot. I like a lot of imagery in my tarot. I like stuff to really dig into and get my teeth into, and I like a lot to look at. The more stuff there is in the card, the more likely it is that something's going to ping my brain and I'm going to have like those intuitive hits, and I'm going to just get a far superior reading than I would do from a deck that's just like, I don't know. I can't think of any images off the top of my head now, like minimalist images, but I just need more. So that's one thing. I'm a big fan of cute and creepy. Anybody who knows me knows that's not really a surprise. I do like that amalgamation of taking something that's terrifying under normal circumstances and making it cute. I also like things that are terrifying. I'm a huge horror fan. I like to read a lot of horror. So I'm very into the supernatural type stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of that too. The lighting is making my ceiling look fucking awful, where it's kind of blurring it a bit. So apologies for that. I don't know why I noticed that. I'm sure nobody else noticed but me. But anyway, so yeah, I'm very into the cute and creepy and also modern. I like my imagery to be quite modern. I'm not necessarily drawn to the more traditional kind of like vintage, like medieval-y styles. Not that the traditional is medieval, but you know what I mean. I very much like the modern decks that come out that are in many ways kind of showcasing the world that I actually live in. Like if tarot is a snapshot of our lives and our worlds, I like tarot that is very modern and does actually provide a snapshot of the world that I inhabit right now. Question 4. What tarot system is your favourite and which do you want to learn? I'm definitely an RWS girl, through and through. I did start this year dabbling a little bit in Thoth, but it's not really grabbing me. I've got like one book and I'm not really enjoying it. And I to be fair, I haven't really picked it up. I haven't really looked at the cards all that much. I have also dabbled a little bit in Marseille, and I do want to do a bit more of that because I think that there's some really good stuff that you can take from like learning the other systems that you can then use to underpin the RWS decks that I actually love and want to use. So I do want to learn more and just learn a little bit of this, but not because of the systems themselves, because I want that knowledge to like layer onto the RWS knowledge that I already have, because RWS is definitely my jam and I am a big fan. And I think partly it comes from like the Thoth, I'm not really loving the artwork all that much and the imagery. And with Marseille, there's just not enough going on. Like pip cards are very difficult for me because of that whole minimalist thing that I was already talking about. So yeah, and then kind of outside tarot, but staying very much within that kind of cartomancy space, I would like to get back into Lenormand. I enjoy using the Lenormand. I find it a system that's very logical, which I like, and kind of like this card means this and this card means this, and then how they come out together is how you actually build your readings. And I like that, and I definitely want to do more of that in the future, but that's not tarot. Question number 5. Top 3 favourite Major Arcana. Okay, so this was hard actually, because I was like, oh, I like this one, but I also like this one, but maybe I should, so I have managed to narrow it down to 3, but there could have been more. So the first one is the Fool. I am someone who is, I'm always wanting to learn new things. I'm always wanting to jump into the next new thing, the next new thing, the next new thing. I get very excited by newness and the opportunity to discover stuff. And I am very into the whole beginner mind concept and the, treating everything like it's a new experience kind of thing. So I love the Fool because I very much love that idea of stepping out into the unknown and just seeing where that takes us, kind of thing. Strength, again, from very personal reasons, like I love that strength, true strength, especially how it's represented in the kind of cards that I like. It doesn't have to be physical. You can be strong on a mental level. You can be strong on an emotional level. You can be strong in your sense of self. Strength is all about so much more than physicality, and you know, the self-confidence and the sense of calmness that comes with real inner strength. And also I just really love this card. I just really love this card a lot. And then my final one that I picked was the Hermit. Again, very personal reasons. I'm for the most part, a fairly solitary individual. I like being on my own. I like my own space. I live alone. I work from home the majority of the time. I like to go out and socialize, but in very specific ways. And I just enjoy my own space. I am one of those people who's very in my head. I'm very contemplative. Journaling and self-reflection and I'm just very much a homebody individual, introvert, who very much feels the energy of the Hermit. And so I don't know if this was actually a pick your 3 favorite Major Arcana from the decks that you own, or if it was what I've done, which is the 3 Major Arcana that speak to me the most. But that's the way I decided to go with this question anyway. Question number 6, favorite suit and why? This is a really hard one because I like them all, and I think that they all have different things that they bring, and they all touch on different aspects. And you know, the minor arcana, the suits are the general day-to-day mundane type aspects of life, and you've got your emotions and your the emotional and the mental and the physical and your passions and stuff. And I think every single one of them has its place at the right moment in time. And I'm a big fan of balance. Another card that I would have picked for a Major Arcana would have been the Justice card, because I'm a big fan of balance and fairness and things like I'm a Libra, and what can I say? But if I absolutely had to pick my favorite suit as of right now, I would probably say the Swords. Because I am a fan of challenges. I am a fan of the mental aspect. Like I'm an air sign, I'm a Libra, and I'm very very cerebral in my head kind of person. I enjoy the kind of challenges that come with learning new things and pushing myself and logic and analyzing data type stuff. The suits are probably the suit that I probably feel the most at home in is the Swords. And so if I was going to use that as a criteria, I guess is what I'm saying, then I would go with the Swords. But actually I like them all. Question number 7, which of the court cards would you consider as your significator? So I don't really use significators, and I know that there's been various iterations of this before where we've talked about this and on my channel, because there was I've just hit the table, sorry. There was a tag a very long time, and also I've done it in terms of MBTI, and I'm always going to come back to the right answer, the same answer, which is the Queen of Swords, if I absolutely have to pick. Because, and the reason I pick the Queen is for the maturity aspect that you don't get from the Page and the Knight. I'm a 40-year-old woman, and also somebody who's been in the world for a long time, but a long time on my own. Like I left home at 17, so I have a level of maturity and kind of knowing my place in the world and how I fit into my world that I don't think necessarily comes from the page or the knight. And the reason it's the queen and not the king is because I think the king is a very external, like active iteration of the sword energy, and the queen is much more of an internal, reflective, passive almost form of that energy. And I don't think that I'm like, a lot of what I think I get out of the Queen of Swords and why I would associate a sword court card with me is not an active thing, it's an internal thing. It's not an external, it's an internal, if that makes sense. And I do feel like I do fit with the Queen of Swords a lot. She's aloof, and I feel like I can, intentionally or otherwise, mostly not, but I think I can come across as aloof. I'm not overly expressively friendly with people. I'm not good at like being overly communicative with people and expressing myself. I can come across as aloof because I'm often in my head so much. I definitely very analytical. I analyze everything to death, like every conversation, every interaction, everything I do. I analyze the world and myself to death. Honest and direct to a fault. Sometimes I'm very direct, I'm very honest. I don't always know where that line is. I can be diplomatic and I can be tactful, but I don't always recognize that line early enough. And sometimes if I'm not on it, I'm just honest and direct to a fault in a way that is not comfortable always for other people. Incredibly independent. Again, I live on my own. I've lived on my own for 20 years. Logical, cerebral. I can be quite cutting. If you push me far enough, once I'm done, I'm kind of done. And I do just cut people off. like I don't really do long drawn out conflicts and grudges and all that kind of stuff, but I will just cut you off like you never existed, which is not a positive. I'm not saying that's a strength. I'm just recognizing that it's a trait that I have that I think sits very well with the Queen of Swords. So yes, if I had to pick a significator, it would definitely be the Queen of Swords. I just feel that this energy that the Queen of Swords has is the energy that fits me and who I am as a person the most. Question number 8. Is cardstock a big deal for you? Not really. There are, like I have a deck that is, the card is so thin, it's basically paper, and it's not easy to work with because it's just so thin. And I have some other decks where the cardstock is so thick that it's, again, not easy to work with. And I don't love linen cardstock because I don't like what it does to the images of the cards. I don't like that cross-hatching. I think linen cardstock can be done in such a way that cross-hatching is either not as noticeable or adds to the style of the artwork in a way that works very well. And also I think it feels lovely. But for the most part, as long as the cardstock is functional, it makes the deck still functional, I'm not really bothered, because tarot ultimately is tool, and as long as it works, I'm not too fussed about the like nitty-gritty details type thing. So that was a very long-winded way of saying no, cardstock is not really a big deal to me. Question number 9. Do you read for others? I don't. I'd kind of like to more at some point, I think. And I do on occasion, I'll do like a quick reading for a friend or whatever. But professionally, no, I don't. And I'm not sure if professionally I ever would either. I don't know. Again, I'm going off on a tangent because the question is literally like, do you read for others? No, but that's not a very interesting answer, is it? So I have been, you know, and I would do again in the future, but professionally, I'm not sure if that is an avenue I will ever go down. But I do like reading for people occasionally, like friends, family, those kind of people. And question number 10, the number one deck you are excited to have come out this year. The traditional Korean tarot by Banner, which I backed on Kickstarter, and it ended the 2nd of April, and I think it's due. I mean, the plan is for it to start shipping in June. It's beautiful, absolutely stunning, very you know, very Korean, which I love. Like, for those of you who don't know, I am studying the Korean language at the moment. I'm coming up to 2 years of studying Korean, and a big part of that is, you know, a big part of learning a language is becoming very involved in the culture, and you have to love the culture in order to want to continue learning the language. So I have a deep love that's continuing to develop over time for the Korean culture, and I'm very interested in Korean history and stuff. So I'm really excited for that deck. I did not, though, get the guidebook in Korean because I thought that might be a bit of a stretch to my current ability. But maybe one day, but not right now. But no, I'm very, very excited about that deck. And then finally, we have some lightning round questions, which I will try and do as quickly as I can, but they're like either or questions and I'm never very good at them. So first question, coffee or tea? Coffee. Yeah, coffee. I have to always think about that, because when Americans say tea, they mean like every iteration of tea you could possibly think of. When British people say tea, we mean like English breakfast tea, and then everything else is green tea, fruit tea, herbal tea. And I don't like English breakfast tea at all, but I do like fruit teas and herbal teas. And I have to be in the mood for them, but I'm definitely a coffee drinker, to the point where I have just switched my coffee out. So I now do 1 or 2 cups of caffeinated coffee a day, and then from about midday I switched to decaf, because I drink so much of it that I was just like, and I'm already quite wired. I'm already quite a highly active, wired individual, and I think coffee was just making it worse. You know, I talk very fast, I'm fidgety, I move around all the time. I'm very like, not edgy, but very like, I don't know, wired. And yeah, I found that I was getting to a point where coffee was just, in some ways, was making me a little bit more jittery than even I could cope with. So I've just switched to decaf. See, I'm not good at these quick lightning round things. Okay, colours or monochrome? I can go either way, actually. I like both, but colours. Cats or dogs? I have both, and they're all in this room with me right now. So this is a very controversial question. But I'm going to have to say dogs very quickly, in the hope that none of them notice. I love my cats, and I love cats. Like, I do love cats. But ultimately, I am a dog person, like anything canine. Dogs, foxes, wolves, coyotes, hyenas, you know, you name it. I just have this deep love for dogs that is bigger than my love for cats. Although I love all of my 3 equally, 1 dog, 2 cats, and I love them all equally. But I feel like I'm over explaining when they can't really understand what I'm saying, so I could probably just calm down and move on. Flora or fauna? Both, because I'm not really that overly interested in either, which for a pagan is always really shocking, but I can kind of take or leave both. So both. Favorite time of day? Either first thing in the morning, like very first thing in the morning, when I sit down to have my very first cup of coffee of the day and I haven't started work or any other thing yet, and it's just me and the morning and the cup of coffee, or the evening when again like the world's calmed down and it's quiet and it's just me, and like I'm done with my work for the day and I have my dinner and I can just like chill out with a book or whatever. So anytime when I don't have to actually do anything, apparently. And then final one, favorite thing besides tarot. There are so many, so many. Like books, movies, music, language learning, so many things, so many. Crochet. I am a bit of a hobby magpie, and I like to do lots and lots of different things. Right now, my favorite thing is probably language learning besides tarot. That's probably the thing I give most of my time to, but also, yeah, books, music, movies, crochet. I wouldn't give any of those things up easily. So there you go. That is me. That is my answers to the tarot community build tag. I hope this was interesting for people, and thank you for sticking with me if you've made it all the way to the end. I would love to know if you have done this tag or if you intend to do this tag. Feel free to put your video in the comments and I will go and check it out. Otherwise, I will see you all very shortly for another one. Take care, everyone, and lots of love. Bye bye.